Hi, welcome. Hope Zvara here, and I'm here to talk to you today about functional triplane training. When we think about utilizing our body, traditionally, much of the stretching was done only in one plane of motion, say a forward bend, or let's say opening into a straddle, or some sort of, let's say, triangle. And so we're only moving in one plane of motion. But most of our day-to-day actions require us to move in multiple planes of motion. Let's say we reach and then we have to actually reach and turn for something, or we're going to fold and twist, or open our legs and twist. And so moving in 3 planes of motion not only is going to be really great for our joints and for our muscles, but it's also going to be really great for our pelvic neuromuscular system. So basically the deep core muscles in the body, and helping them reset and refire and learn how to be moving in the most dynamic ways possible. So as a runner, let's say you're used to stretching your calves. You put your foot up against the wall and you stretch the calf, and you lean forward and you call it a day. You do both legs and then you go for your run. But what if that wasn't enough? Especially if you're a trail runner, the uneven ground and terrain isn't a one-size-fits-all. So when we think about triplane training and we think about moving in multiple planes of motion, if I were to step my foot back and do something like a calf stretch, bend the back knee and straighten the leg up again, I feel a great calf stretch. But what if I turn my back toes in, let's say a few degrees, more or less depending, we have to honor the knee. Now bending the front knee, as I exhale, I'm bending my back knee and also kicking my hip right-left. So exhaling and inhaling again. Now this not only becomes just a calf stretch, but it also becomes an iliotibial band, a glute, and a hip stretch. Now when the lower body is restricted, we can definitely cultivate what's called pelvic floor dysfunction, meaning the core isn't firing the way it's supposed to. And our calves definitely can affect the probability of our core functioning optimally. There we go. Let's try the opposite side. So again, if I turn sideways and I were to step back and just do a random calf stretch or a gastroc release, my toes are forward, and I'm bending my back knee, I definitely feel a stretch. There's nothing to say that I'm not feeling a stretch. But if I turn my back foot in, and now I also pivot my hips right-left, bending the back knee, the knee turns inward because that's direction of the foot and the hip, and now I push my hip right-left. And so exhale and up, exhale and up. Not only is balance challenged, but I'm also creating so much more of a dynamic stretch than if I would only isolate the calf muscle. Remember, we're a very integrated being. Our muscles move simultaneously. And if I would lift my arm up, it's not just my arm muscles working. It's my core, it's even the stability of my pelvis that's affected by just me lifting the arm. If we were to take that movement we were just working on and add even more movement with the body, now we're really triplane training. So if I step back with what would be your left foot, rotate the foot in, notice how my stride is not that big. Keep the foot solid, I really like bare feet. And now start out with just the legs, so I'm bending the knee, front knee is bent, and pivoting the hip right and left. Think of it like a driver. So I'm driving my hip out to the left every single time I move. Now I'm going to start to fold. So when I drive my hip to the left, I'm going to also fold my torso. So exhale and up again. Good, exhale and up again. Now I'm going to use my arm as a driver too and reach alongside the ear every time I drive my hip. So exhale and inhale, and I can really feel this in the back. Exhale, reach, 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 and inhale. So when we think about our core, my core is really helping to hold me steady, but when I lengthen my back muscles and lengthen my leg muscles, my core is going to find new ways to fire. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Let's just try it on the other side just for the sake of it. So back foot pivots in. Again, I'm going to bend my back knee, front knee stays bent, and drive my hips right-left. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. For most of us, we're used to anatomy that is very cut and dry. It's very one-dimensional. Forward bend. I'm going to stretch forward. That's it. But what if we turn our feet in a different position? It totally changes the stretch. Whoop. This is my tighter side. Just like I was saying before, just bending the back knee, toes forward, versus rotating that foot in. Obviously, we have to be ready for that type of a stretch, but it's the progression. Now I'm going to fold and drive my hip. fold, and back up again. Exhale, drive the hip. Keeping my belly muscles from collapsing out, especially if the hip and back muscles are tight, I'm going to find I'm letting my sacrum collapse towards the floor, and I'm losing all my core strength. So don't let that happen. Now my right arm, or your right arm, is going to become a driver. Exhale, and inhale. Exhale. It's amazing how me reaching my arm can actually increase the stretch in my hip. Remember, everything is connected. Exhale, keep the spine long. One more time, exhale. And inhale, great job. So next time you're thinking about going either to do a cool down or a warm up, think multiple planes of motion. If I'm used to doing a forward bend, what would happen if I slightly internally rotate my feet and do a forward bend? Or what if I would step one foot slightly back and one foot slightly forward into a forward bend? So that's just one example of just changing foot pattern or changing a foot matrix in order to change how your body feels. Now the rest is up to you. For more information, visit my website at hopezvara.com, and I can't wait to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today, and until I see you again, namaste.